At 80, I've learned these 6 rules to overcome aging's biggest challenges and thrive to 100. Most people think aging means slowing down, losing purpose and watching life pass by. But what if I told you that many people actually thrive in their 80s and 90s, living longer, happier and even healthier than before? Science proves it. Your mindset, habits and daily choices have more impact on aging than genetics. Meet George. At 80, he felt lost, struggling with loneliness and declining health. But today he's thriving, full of energy and more fulfilled than ever. What changed? He discovered 6 simple rules that transformed his life. And the last one? It's the most powerful of all. If you're over 60, or planning to be, you can do the same. Stay with me because these 6 lessons could add years to your life and life to your years. Meet George. At 80, he faced something many fear: loneliness, health scares, and the sinking feeling that his best years were behind him. His friends were slowing down, his energy wasn't what it used to be, and he often asked himself, is this it? He tried to stay positive, but every ache, every quiet evening alone reminded him that time was slipping away. That was until he made one decision. He refused to let aging define him. Instead of giving up, George searched for answers. He studied people who thrived in their 80s and 90s, made small but powerful changes, and rebuilt his life from the inside out. Today, he wakes up with purpose, enjoys vibrant health, and feels more alive than he did at 60. What changed? He follows 6 simple rules that transformed everything. Rules backed by science, proven by experience, and easy enough for anyone to apply. And the last one? It's the most surprising of all. In fact, it might just add years to your life. Stay with me because this could change everything for you too. When George retired at 65, he thought he was ready. No more stressful meetings, no deadlines, just relaxation. He pictured himself enjoying slow mornings, long walks and guilt-free naps. But after the excitement wore off, reality set in. His days felt empty. Without work, he lost the structure that had guided him for decades. At first, he welcomed the freedom. He watched TV, ran small errands and met friends for coffee. But deep down, something felt off. He missed the challenge, the learning, the sense of purpose. He started feeling restless, like something was slipping away from him. Worst of all, he started feeling old. Then, something unexpected happened. One afternoon, while cleaning out his attic, George found an old notebook from his college years. Inside were lists of things he once wanted to learn: playing the piano, speaking Italian, even painting. He laughed at first. That was a lifetime ago. But then a thought struck him. Why not now? The next day he visited the library and picked up a beginner's book on Italian. At first it was frustrating. He stumbled over words. His memory wasn't as sharp as it used to be, and he wondered if he was just too old to start something new. But as the days passed, something changed. His mind felt sharper. He started looking forward to his lessons. Encouraged, he signed up for a local painting class. He met new people, learned new skills, and for the first time in years he felt truly alive. And it turns out, science backs this up. Learning keeps you young. Studies show that engaging in new skills, reading or even doing puzzles, strengthens neural connections and lowers the risk of dementia. In fact, research from the National Institute on Aging suggests that lifelong learning can improve memory, enhance problem-solving skills, and even delay cognitive decline. It's like exercise for your brain. The more you challenge it, the stronger it stays. One study from the University of Texas found that older adults who engaged in learning new skills, like photography or quilting, showed significant improvements in memory compared to those who simply engaged in social activities. The brain craves novelty. When you learn something new, it builds fresh neural pathways, keeping your mind sharp and active. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Read a book that challenges your thinking. Try a new recipe that uses ingredients you've never cooked with before. Learn to play an instrument, even if it's just a few notes on a keyboard. Take a dance class, join a discussion group, or explore a hobby you never had time for before. Even something as simple as using new technology, like video calls with family or learning how to edit photos, keeps your brain engaged. The key is to stay curious, because the moment you stop learning, you start aging. So here's a challenge. What's one thing you've always wanted to learn? Maybe it's a language, a craft, or even a fun skill like dancing or photography. Drop it in the comments, we'd love to hear. And while keeping your mind active is crucial, there's another key to aging well, one that affects not just your mind but your entire body. That's where rule number 2 comes in. George never considered himself inactive. After all, he was always on his feet when he was working, running errands, fixing things around the house, staying busy. But after retirement, his days became more sedentary. He spent hours sitting, watching TV, reading, or simply resting. It felt harmless, even normal. But then, during a routine checkup, his doctor gave him a wake-up call. "George, sitting is the new smoking. Your body wasn't designed to be still all day." At first, he brushed it off. He wasn't a gym person, and he certainly didn't see himself running marathons. But one morning, he decided to take a short walk around the block. Just 10 minutes. The first few days weren't easy. His joints ached, and he felt out of breath faster than he expected, but he kept at it, slowly increasing his time. Within weeks, he noticed something surprising. His energy improved, his mood lifted, his knees felt stronger. And the best part? His morning walk became the highlight of his day. Science proves it. Movement isn't just about staying fit. It's the key to aging well. According to the CDC, just 30 minutes of moderate exercise a day, like walking, stretching, or even dancing in your living room, reduces the risk of heart disease, strengthens muscles, improves balance, and even boosts memory. In fact, research from Harvard shows that regular physical activity slows down aging at a cellular level, helping you stay stronger, healthier, and more independent for longer. And the good news? It doesn't have to be intense. Walk around the house during commercial breaks, stretch while waiting for your coffee, dance to your favorite song for a few minutes each day. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. The goal isn't to push yourself to the limit, it's to move consistently. Every little bit adds up. George took it a step further. He joined a local walking group and found himself looking forward to the conversations as much as the exercise. Before he knew it, he wasn't just walking, he was thriving. His posture improved, his back pain faded. He even noticed that his sleep was deeper and more refreshing. And here's the best part, it's never too late to start. Studies show that even if you've been inactive for years, adding movement to your daily routine can reverse many age-related declines. The lesson? If you don't use it, you lose it. Your body is meant to move no matter your age. So start small, but start today. What's one simple way you can add more movement to your routine? Share it in the comments. We'd love to hear. And while movement keeps your body strong, there's another challenge to aging that's just as important. One that affects the heart even more than exercise. That's where rule number 3 comes in. George lost his wife at 78. After 50 years together, he didn't just lose his partner, he lost his best friend, his daily conversations, his sense of home. The silence in the house was unbearable. At first he tried to stay busy, filling his days with TV and errands, but nothing filled the void. He told himself this was just part of aging. Everyone slows down, friends drift apart, and loneliness becomes the new normal. But deep down he knew something was missing. Then, one evening, while sorting through an old box of memories, George found a birthday card from an old friend, Jim. They hadn't spoken in years. On impulse, he picked up the phone and called. He almost hung up after the first ring. What if Jim had forgotten him? But before he could, Jim answered. That conversation changed everything. They talked for hours, laughing about old memories, sharing stories, and catching up on lost time. For the first time in years, George felt like himself again. That one call led to another. Soon George started reconnecting with family, with neighbours, even with people he met at the coffee shop. He joined a local community group, started attending events, and realised something powerful. He wasn't alone. And here's the thing, loneliness isn't just a feeling, it's a health risk. Science backs this up. Research from Brigham Young University found that chronic loneliness increases the risk of early death by 26%. That's as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Studies also show that loneliness is linked to heart disease, high blood pressure, depression, and even dementia. In contrast, strong social connections improve mental health, boost immunity, and even extend lifespan. In fact, Harvard's longest-running study on happiness, spanning over 80 years, found that the quality of our relationships is the single biggest factor in living a long and fulfilling life. Not wealth, not success, relationships. The good news? It's never too late to rebuild your social life. Call an old friend, join a club or social group. Volunteer. Helping others is a great way to connect. Say yes to invitations, even when you don't feel like it. Start small. Greet a neighbour, chat with someone at the store, strike up a conversation at the park. Even small interactions, a friendly exchange with a barista, a short talk with a neighbour, can make a difference. George didn't realise how much he needed connection until he had it again. The more he reached out, the more his world opened up. His laughter returned. His sense of purpose grew. He even rekindled an old friendship that turned into a weekly tradition of coffee and conversation. Loneliness isn't just about missing people, it's about missing yourself. And the cure is simple, reach out. So here's a challenge. Who's one person you haven't spoken to in a while? Pick up the phone, call them today. You never know, one conversation could change everything. And while connection is the key to emotional well-being, there's something just as powerful that fuels a long, healthy life. George always thought he ate pretty well. He enjoyed home-cooked meals, had the occasional salad, and wasn't a fan of fast food. But as he got older, his energy dipped, his joints ached, and his doctor warned him about rising blood pressure. That's when he started researching the world's longest-living people. Those who regularly live past 100 in places like Okinawa, Japan, and Sardinia, Italy. He discovered something surprising. They don't follow fad diets, count calories, or obsess over food. Instead, they eat mostly plants, healthy fats, and almost no processed foods. George realized something important. What you put on your plate determines how you feel, how you age, and how long you live. Determined to make a change, he didn't overhaul his diet overnight. Instead, he made small adjustments. He swapped white bread for whole grains. He started his mornings with fruit instead of sugary cereal. He replaced soda with water and herbal tea. And he began cooking with olive oil instead of butter. Within weeks, something incredible happened. His energy improved. His digestion got better. Even his joint pain eased. His doctor noticed his blood pressure had stabilized. George wasn't just eating to survive, he was eating to thrive. And science proves it. Food is medicine. A diet rich in whole foods, vegetables, fruits, nuts and healthy fats reduces inflammation, lowers the risk of heart disease and keeps the brain sharp. Studies show that people who follow the Mediterranean diet, full of fresh produce, olive oil, nuts and lean proteins, have a significantly lower risk of dementia and heart disease. Research from the Blue Zones, regions where people live the longest, reveals that centenarians eat mostly plant-based foods with minimal processed sugar and refined carbs. Harvard studies confirm that drinking enough water daily can reduce the risk of kidney issues, joint pain and fatigue. And here's the best part, it's never too late to start. Even small changes like swapping out processed snacks for a handful of nuts, drinking more water instead of sugary drinks, and adding an extra serving of vegetables to your plate can have life-changing benefits. George doesn't diet, he enjoys his food more than ever. He discovered new ways to cook, learned to appreciate simple, fresh ingredients, and even started growing his own herbs. Now, every meal feels like an investment in his future. So ask yourself, what's one small food change you can make today? Drop it in the comments, we'd love to hear. But food isn't the only thing that keeps you young. Your mindset matters just as much, if not more. George once believed that aging was just a slow decline. You get older, you slow down, and life becomes about limitations rather than possibilities. That's what he thought, until he met Helen. Helen was 92, but you wouldn't know it by looking at her. She still danced every weekend, laughed louder than anyone in the room, and had the energy of someone half her age. She had wrinkles, sure, but her eyes sparkled with excitement. One day, George asked her, "What's your secret?" She smiled and said, "You're only as old as you think you are." That one sentence changed George's perspective. He realized that while aging is inevitable, how we age is largely determined by our mindset. He started paying attention to his own thoughts. He noticed how often he said things like, "I'm too old for that," or "At my age, I can't do much." So he made a choice. Instead of focusing on what he lost with age, he'd focus on what he gained: wisdom, freedom, and new experiences. Every morning he listed 3 things he was grateful for. He made an effort to laugh more, to find humor in everyday life. He stopped avoiding new experiences and started saying, "Why not me?" And the results? He felt lighter, more optimistic, younger. Helen was onto something. Science proves that a positive mindset literally extends your life. A Yale study found that people with a positive view of aging lived an average of 7.5 years longer than those with a negative outlook. Optimism reduces stress, which lowers inflammation, improves heart health, and even slows cellular aging. Laughter releases endorphins, which boost mood, reduce pain, and strengthen the immune system. Gratitude rewires the brain for happiness, making it easier to handle life's challenges with resilience. In short, your mindset matters as much as your lifestyle. And here's the good news. Anyone can train their mind to age well. Stop negative self-talk. Replace "I can't" with "I'll try." Surround yourself with uplifting people. Negativity is contagious, so is joy. Find reasons to laugh. Watch a comedy, share funny memories, don't take life too seriously. Practice gratitude. Even in tough times, there's always something to be thankful for. And here's a challenge. What's one thing you're grateful for today? A good cup of coffee? A kind word from a friend? A sunny day? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear. This is the rule that changes everything, and too many people realize it too late. It's not about diet, exercise, or even mindset. It's about something even deeper. The reason you wake up in the morning. Because without purpose, life starts to feel empty. George didn't realize this until his late 70s. He had made all the right changes. He stayed active, ate well, and kept a positive outlook. But something still felt off. His days felt repetitive. He had routines, hobbies, and even a few social gatherings, but deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was just passing time. Then, one evening, everything changed. His grandson, fresh out of college, was struggling to start a business. Over dinner, George shared stories from his own career, lessons he had learned, mistakes he had made, and insights that only decades of experience could teach. His grandson hung on to every word, asking questions, taking notes. And for the first time in a long time, George felt something stir inside him: excitement, fulfillment, purpose. That conversation led to something bigger. His grandson asked if they could meet weekly to talk through challenges. Then a neighbor asked for advice. Before long, George was mentoring young entrepreneurs in his community, sharing wisdom from decades of experience. And something incredible happened. He started thriving too. His energy changed. He woke up each day with a sense of anticipation. He felt needed. He felt alive. Science confirms what George discovered. Studies on blue zones, the regions of the world where people regularly live past 100, reveal that the longest living people don't just eat well and stay active. They wake up every morning with a reason to keep going. In Okinawa, Japan, they call it ikigai, a sense of purpose that fuels life. Research shows that having a strong purpose can lower the risk of heart disease, reduce stress, and even extend lifespan. And here's the good news. It's never too late to find yours. Maybe it's mentoring, like George. Maybe it's volunteering, writing, creating, teaching, or simply showing up for the people who need you. Purpose isn't about grand gestures. It's about staying engaged with life, feeling like you matter, because you do. So here's a question. What gives your life meaning? If you already know, nurture it. If you don't, start exploring. Because the greatest tragedy isn't aging, it's reaching the end and realizing you never truly lived. George once thought life was slowing down at 80. Instead, he's thriving. These 6 rules didn't just add years to his life, they added life to his years. He rediscovered the joy of learning, proving that curiosity keeps the mind sharp. He embraced movement, turning daily walks into a source of strength and energy. He fought loneliness by reconnecting with old friends and making new ones. He changed the way he ate, fueling his body with foods that kept him vibrant. He shifted his mindset, choosing optimism over fear. And most importantly, he found purpose. Something that made every day worth waking up for. George isn't just existing anymore, he's living. And you can too. These 6 rules aren't about avoiding aging. They're about embracing it, thriving in it, and making the most of every single moment. So now, it's your turn. Which of these 6 rules will you start applying today? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if this video inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this today, because it's never too late to start living